working here? Great, we are. Camera's on. Looks like it's working. Okay, great. Everyone just give me a few moments here while I get the stream set up. Streaming? Is it working? The first 3 or 4 minutes of a stream is always the streamer trying to figure out if their thing is actually working, isn't it? Okay, we're good now. Almost there. Mute. Hey everyone. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. For those of you who don't know, my name is Sophie. I am a professional SEO. I build websites and I get them to the top of Google. That's what I do to make a living. And when I do these these streams, what I'm doing is working on one of my clients' websites. I provide SEO analyses as a service, and if you're interested in how search engine optimization works, if you'd like to know more about how to figure out what's going on with your own website, hang out with me for the next little while. I'll be analyzing this client's website. So we're going to start, I'm going to start by opening up the SEO analysis document so you can kind of follow along with me and see what I'm doing. I'm using an old client's, not an old client's, but a existing client's analysis as a template. So we'll get rid of that and add connected sensors. Okay, so connected sensors is the business we're going to be working with. So I'll put Tracy because that's my contact's name there. Okay, so what are we doing here? So when I'm running an SEO analysis, get out of here. When I'm running an SEO analysis, what I'm doing is I call it a reconnaissance mission for my clients. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a look at what is going on with their niche, how many people are searching for them, and from there I can figure out who their top competitors are. Once I figure out that, then I can figure out what I can analyze their website as well as the competitors' websites, and I can figure out what's going on in their niche. How strong are their competitors? How strong are they? And what it would take to overtake those competitors. So that's what I'm doing here. So step one, keywords. So I'm going to open their pre-analysis questionnaire. So they told me that connectedsensors.ca is the website they want to analyze. And they want to sell more leak detection systems. Their clients are multi-residential property owners, often high-rise tower owners, that kind of stuff. Places that have need for leak detection systems in a way that's beyond what the average homeowner might need. So they're after corporate clients, okay? And they've provided me with some sample keywords. So what I need to do is start going through what those keywords look like, what the keywords they've provided me look like rather, and then from there I need to figure out how many people are searching them. So enjoy all my ridiculous tabs here. I'm going to go to Keyword Planner. I always forget what the URL is, but it doesn't really matter. So when I'm doing SEO, there's a bunch of different tools that I use to figure out keywords. When I'm doing these analyses, I just use Keyword Planner. Why is this not working? And the reason why I use Keyword Planner is because when I'm doing these, I want to, as much as possible, use tools that people can use for free. So that way, if you want to run your own SEO analyses, if you want to try and figure out what your own keywords are, there are paid tools that you can use, but I want to use the free ones, so you guys can just go and do this on your own as well if you like. So we'll just give this a moment to load. This is Google's Keyword Planner. It's a tool that Google provides. It's designed to be used for AdWords. So AdWords is the program that if you ever search anything on Google and you've ever seen an ad, the ads that pop up are created with Google's AdWords tool. So it's not exactly the same as giving you actual search forecasts, but it's pretty close. So what we'll do is you go to Keyword Planner, you hit Start with Keywords, and you want to drop the keywords in that they provide. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to narrow the search down. They want to be found in Canada. And then domain to use as a filter, I never bother with that. so yeah, from here, you just hit get results, and you also want to make sure it's, the right language. So they're in English speaking part of Canada, so English is what they want to be found in Canada wide. They did specify they want to be found in Toronto in particular, but they're also interested in being found in Calgary and Vancouver and some of the other places in Toronto, in Canada, that have larger population centers. So we'll hit get results, and we'll see what it comes up with. So it's going to come up with a whole bunch of, it gave us 399 keyword ideas. So from here, what I do is I'm going to select, so it gives you these options to broaden your search horizons. Flood detection is, sure, that would work. Leak detection equipment was another one that it had there. And let's see what else we have. Okay, so it gave us 559 keywords. Okay, so there's a bunch of data here. Most of it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly select all of them, add keywords to create plan. So I let it load for a moment, give it a chance to do what it needs to do. And what I'm doing here is I'm downloading all these keywords. And then once I download them all, I'm going to go to view saved keywords. And I'm going to, it's changed, the interface has changed a little bit since the last time I was here. Download them in a CSV. And there, it's that simple to figure out keywords. So there we go. Now we have a whole bunch of data. Again, most of this is not necessary, so I'm going to get rid of this. Check on the chat box. Everyone drop a comment in the chat if you have any questions. Please feel free to ask. Part of the reason why I do this is because I want to share my knowledge with people. And another reason why I do this is it's kind of boring to do it on my own. So if you have any questions at any point along the way about SEO, I'm happy to answer them. So hop into the chat box here on YouTube and ask any questions if you got them. Okay, so estimated clicks we don't need. Estimated cost, that doesn't hurt. And then CTR, average, all this other stuff, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to format this as a table to make it look nice. Just a moment. Pardon me. Okay, so we've got these keywords, estimated impressions, and estimated cost. So I'm going to sort these largest to smallest. And then I'm also going to sort these largest to smallest as well. So what are we talking about here? What are we looking at? Keywords are keywords. I feel like that's fairly self-explanatory. Estimated impressions is the number of times someone can expect to see your website if it's at the top of Google, which is not exactly the same as number of searches per month, but it's pretty close. And it does give you an idea of the amount of search traffic available. So that's pretty good. And then estimated cost, that is how much it would cost for to put an ad at the top of Google for that keyword term. So what's interesting for that, we're not buying ads here. This is search engine optimization, not pay-per-click advertising. It's two very different things. We're not doing Google Ads, even though we're using Google Ads tools. Pardon me. So why are we looking at these? So what we want to do is figure out how competitive each one of these keywords are. And the more money people are spending on those keywords, the more competitive they happen to be. So you might think, oh, the more impressions, the better. Well, yes, to a certain extent, because if you have, so this one has 1,400 and a half or so impressions. Actually, that's like exactly 14 and a third. Whatever, doesn't matter. 1,433 impressions at an estimated cost of about $150 a pop. This one has just shy of 1,100 impressions and is like, what's that, like half? Less than half the cost. So that means that even though this keyword has fewer impressions than this keyword, this one is still the better one to target because it's less competitive, which means it's going to be easier to target. However, wastewater treatment system is not a keyword that my client is going for. They do water sensors. They do leak detection, flood detection, water management, that kind of thing. So they don't do wastewater treatment systems. So that's a keyword we want to delete. And this is the really boring part of this, where all I'm doing is going through and seeing which keywords make sense to include for them and which ones don't. So this next section is going to be kind of boring. I'm sorry. Gas leak? No, that's not them. Moen flow detector? No, that's a specific brand. Stormwater management? I don't think so. If I'm not sure, I just highlight it in yellow. Maybe not yellow because that doesn't look very good with what we have here. Green is a little better. Flood alarm sensor, water management system. Does that work? Yeah, it does actually. That's one of the ones they provided. Leak detection equipment, detector, water detector alarm, the leak detector. That's probably a brand name, but it doesn't hurt to include it in there. Water alarm system. That I'm not sure about either. Water leak sensor alarm. So Moen is definitely a competitor. So I'm going to get rid of that because they're looking for something highly specific. It's good to include competitor keywords in a plan if the plan is to buy keywords through pay-per-click, because if someone Googles Moen flow system, you can just be like, oh, you want a Moen system? Ours is better, and pop up an ad for that. But for just pure SEO, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. Vacuum leak detection, not sure. So wastewater treatment system again, no. Pool leak, I don't think so. I'm going to leave it on there because I know a lot of condo buildings and apartment buildings will have pools in them. Industrial gas leak, no, they do water, not gas. Flood detection. Pipeline detector, I don't know. Helium leak detector, no, they do water. Stormwater retention system, I don't think so. Rainwater management, no. Helium, no. Robinair, that's clearly a brand. Detection, flood home, so no. They specifically said they don't want to work with homeowners. But here's another example. Check this out. This one has 7 impressions. We'll round up. This one has 18. And this one has less competition. So in every way, this one is better. This one is 55 and 1.8 competitors cost. This one is 62 and 2.23. So even though this one is slightly less, it's still worth going for. Anyway, we can target more than one keyword at a time, of course. Gas detector, no. Ballast water system. I don't know. Basement water alarm. It sounds like a residential thing. Irrigation? Nope. Wastewater treatment? No, no, no. Maybe. Guardian leak detector, on-site wastewater treatment systems? No. Propane gas tester? No. Ultrasonic leak detector, HVAC? I don't think so. Nope. Nope. So no. Shut off. No. Water treatment? No. Oh. No. No. Oil leak? Nope. Helium leak detector. So for everyone who's hopping on the stream right now, what I'm doing is I'm going through the keywords that I found for this client and figuring out, this is like the really boring and tedious part. It's just going through everything that is relevant to them and what isn't relevant to them. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat below. I mentioned before, part of the reason why I do these streams is because I want to share what I know, and part of the reason is because it's just kind of boring to do it on my own. So I'm happy to answer any questions. Please drop them in the box. Fuel leak detector? No. Oh, am I frozen? Crap. Water sensor system? Washing machine? No. Water heater? No. No. Oops. And no. Okay, and then from here, we have a whole lot, just get out of here. We have a whole lot more keywords that have, piss off, that have 0 impressions and 0 cost. It doesn't hurt to include them in there, but I don't bother going through them. That's something that the client can use on their own if it's something they want, but it's not particularly important. So yeah, whatever. So there we go. We've got our keywords. Okay, so these are very clearly the top 5 keywords. Actually, you know what? This one's better. This one's better because it's higher impressions and lower. Okay, wow. Again, this one. So there's 3 things to pay attention to. There's impressions, cost, and then the keyword itself. So water sensor alarm is very clearly one of the top ones. So we're going to come over to our SEO analysis here. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I'm going to skip over most of it. I go over it with my client, of course. So I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to start dropping in the keywords for them. Okay, so water sensor alarm is one of them, clearly. We'll do 1433.67. You know what? I'll just round up. There's no such thing as 2/3 of a search, so water alarm. That's 1011. Water leak alarm. That was 670. I'm sorry, y'all. This is the boring part. leak detector is not precise enough for what I want to do for them. So we'll do water detection system. Water leak detection system. We'll do that one. That's 358. And I had a 6th column in here, which I don't usually do. So we're going to delete that. And the final one we'll use is water leak detection equipment. That is very precise. And that was 270. Okay. So there's a decent amount of keyword traffic here. So then from here, what I allow my client to do is I encourage them to just do a little bit of their own math and figure out, you know, if you're at the top of Google, so that's 10,037 searches per month. Okay, so if you're at the top of Google, you can expect between a third and half of the clicks to go to your website. And then from there, if you are monitoring your analytics, you can figure out how many people coming to my website actually contact me. And from there, how many actually become new business. And what that can do is it can give you an idea. Okay, we're doing SEO and we're paying X amount of dollars per month for it. What's the return on my investment? And these numbers allow you to do that. Okay, so we've got our numbers and we've got our keywords. What do we do from here? This is yet another tedious part of this process. Let's take a look. So, next step is I'm going to open Firefox. Reason I use Firefox is because it refreshes itself every single time I close it. So it's completely blank slate. So what I want to do is I want to search each one of these keywords, and I want to find out where everyone ranks, where everyone shows up. And I'm going to do this twice, actually. So put those down there. Okay, so we start with water sensor alarm. I'm just going to go to Google. I'm going to type in water sensor alarm. Now there's 4 websites we're looking for in this process. Obviously we want connectedsensors.ca. Okay. But then these 3 businesses, the client has told us, are their top competitors. Okay. So that's what we need to start looking at. So we'll start with Home Depot, Best Buy, Best Butt, Best Butt, Amazon, oh boy, AR Tech, Safety.com, HomeDepot.com, this time not .ca. Okay, so from here we're going to take a look at some other rankings that they have here. What else is ranking? If our client is anywhere to be found. I don't see any of them, and this is one of the issues, what I was a little worried about with doing one of these with this client, because they're very specifically not looking for residential residential clients. They want the corporate clients. What these results are telling me, Home Depot, Best Buy, Amazon, etc., this search term is largely being searched by people who are looking for the residential options. So what that means is back to the drawing board. We need to do some more keyword research. And especially when I start seeing Amazon ranking, there's just no way you can beat Amazon in SEO. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how many resources you have. Amazon has more. You know, unless you're like Elon Musk or something, but even he's going to take a while to be able to do that. Okay. So let's try putting the modifier commercial in front of these keywords. Okay, let's take a look. It's loading, it's searching. Dooby-doo. I wonder why it's taking so long. It doesn't usually take this long. Oh boy. Pardon me. You know what? I'm going to refresh this. Let's see if just doing this will help. What the hell's going on here? I'm pretty sure these words being displayed here mean just nothing at all. You know, I'm going to refresh this, see if that helps. I think my internet might be a little slow today as well, which is probably part of the reason why my stream keeps freezing. A little frustrating, but what can we do other than try to pivot? Things happen sometimes. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, it actually worked this time. It gave us 6 keywords. That's brutal. Okay, let's try some more. Let's try corporate. Corporate? You know what? I'm going to take the top 5 keywords I've got here and out of the way, everyone. Okay, let's try this. And this is a tricky part, you know, sometimes, yeah, limit of 10 keywords, okay. With certain clients, there's just not a whole lot of searches available. That's just reality, it looks like. So we're going to go over to our saved keywords. We're going to delete them all, which I don't exactly remember how to do. We'll just go to keyword ideas. And my options here. Let's do add group 2. Let's just call it 2. Okay, so you know what, I'm going to do that. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to just search again. Just search again. Google always changes the layout of this thing, so it's hard to find sometimes. Okay, so we've added our significantly reduced list of keywords, and yeah, it's not a whole lot going on here, but when it comes to this client, a new client to them, a single new client can be worth millions of dollars. So, pardon me. So it might not be so bad for them. I'm going to show them both lists when we actually dig in. But yeah, that's what we need. Clicks and impressions. Get out of here. Okay, format as a table. Okay, so let's try this again with, first of all, I'm going to save this, because I wouldn't want to lose it. Save as, come on. SEO analysis. I'm going to move this over here so I don't show everyone my, anyway. Okay, great. So then I've got 2 here, and then any of these is as good as the next because they all have 0. So I'll just stick with the commercial ones. So it's going to make these guys a bit of a tough sell when it comes to convincing them that SEO is going to be worth their while. I guess, again, my only real saving grace here is going to be that, first of all, a single new client is going to be worth a whole lot of money to them. And also, they expressed a desire to be seen as kind of like the Q-tip of what they do, or the Kleenex of what they do. Like, people, they want to be associated with this. So, commercial water leak detection equipment 0.59. 0.27, and then it was 0.00. Okay, so 59, 79, 80, and 86. I think that math is right. Um, so they're averaging less than a single search a month. That's hurting. Definitely hurting. See what we can do with that. They can still get a decent amount of traffic to their site, but not all of it is going to be traffic that converts. It's just the unfortunate reality. Okay, so we'll take these guys and we're just going to start searching. Okay, let's try this. Okay, this is giving us different results. As you can see, there's no Amazon, there's no Home Depot. It's all commercial-oriented businesses. So we still want to find, I'm going to get rid of these and these, but we still want to find these guys, because these are the guys that my client perceives to be their top competitors, which may or may not be the case. So let's find out. I'm going to do this twice, because depending on the results, sometimes I search with two different IP addresses. So we'll start with Stanley Security. Again, very, very tedious part. But this is just part of being an SEO. There's a lot of tedious stuff to do. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Water Hero Inc., not Water Heroin C. I'm not as concerned with what individual pages are ranking. I mostly want to know what the specific website, what the website is, the main link, the main URL, the home page. There's the word I'm trying to look for, the home page. Okay. So we're not seeing my client anywhere so far. So I care about what's on the first page, right? And nobody cares about what is 5 pages down on Google except for SEOs. No one is ever going to be searching for this, right? If you're looking for a commercial water leak detection equipment, you are not searching down to page 5. You're searching on what's on the first page. All I want to know is where my client is. So basically, these guys here, nowhere to be found. What if I put Canada? Does that change the results? Yeah, a little bit, but not much. Yeah, not really. Okay. Let's try this. Okay. So, same as before. And you notice how we're seeing a lot of the same websites here. I skip over this. It's not really relevant. Okay, so again, just digging. How did I get into SEO? Good question. So I did my bachelor's degree in classical studies, which for those who don't know is basically researching the history, geography, literature, archaeology, cultures of the ancient Mediterranean and Near East. So big focus was on Roman studies, Roman history, early empire was my main interest, though in retrospect there's a lot more that's more interesting to me now. But yeah, so I graduated with that, which suffice to say has nothing to do with SEO, but that's okay. So I graduated, and then I moved to Toronto because I couldn't find any jobs or anything I wanted to do in the city where I lived. So I moved to Toronto with my girlfriend, and again, couldn't really find anything I wanted to do. Did some home renos for a while. Worked at a record store, and when I was doing the renos, don't need to say that. When I was doing the renos, I worked with this guy. We got on quite well, and then the work dried up. So, sorry, I'm trying to think and talk at the same time. Yeah, the work dried up, so I went to go work at a record store. And from there, I convinced them to pay me to write a blog for them. Because I'd graduated again with like a liberal arts degree, so I knew I was reasonably intelligent. Like I wasn't, I was capable of doing stuff. Broadly speaking, but it's not like pardon me, it's not like you go to school to become like a plumber, right? I walked out of school with a whole bunch of knowledge, a whole bunch of critical thinking skills, but I didn't have a trade, so to speak. And so I just spent some time thinking about, there's that classic Venn diagram of like, what do you like to do? What are you good at doing? And what will people pay you to do? And thought about my skills, thought about what I can do. And I narrowed it down to writing. I liked to write. And so, like I said, I convinced that that record store that I worked at to pay me to do their blogs. And yeah, so that's how I got started in writing, and I did some research on how to get the most, how to convince people to pay me to write. And one thing that kept coming up is writing blogs is good for your search. It's good for search engines. And so I started doing more of that. And the guy that I did the home renos with reached out to me because I had been posting the blog articles that I did on Facebook. And he was like, I want to start a digital marketing company, but I need someone who knows how to write and who likes to write, and that's not me. But maybe it's you. It's clearly you. Do you want to do this? And I said, sure. So 10 years later, we're still going. 9 years, I guess. So yeah, that's how I got my start in SEO. Very, very roundabout way of coming about. It's always interesting when these come up, like the Tech Hive articles and Consumer Affairs, and it's interesting because they are competitors from a search engine perspective, but they're not competitors from the perspective of actually competing for business. Does that make sense? Like they're ranking, so so they are competition from if they were to hire me to be their full-time SEO, not full-time SEO, to be their SEO. I don't work full-time for anybody except myself. So if they were to hire me to be their SEO, I would look at those sites as my competition, but I don't. My client wouldn't think of them as competition because they're not taking business from my client. So yeah. So yeah, still we're not finding them anywhere. Okay, nothing. And I'm going to do the last one, but I'm going to go get a glass of water first because, as you can see, I keep clearing my throat. So I'll be right back. Excuse me. There we go. That's a little better. Sorry about that. Okay. So, just doing the last one. So, again, Stanley Security has been showing up every time at the very top. They're solid. Okay. So we're seeing kind of the same stuff every time, but interestingly, my client's website, as well as their stated competitors, are nowhere to be found. I've not found any of them anywhere. So it's interesting to note. SafeLockersBangalore.com. Is that Bangalore? I think there's a city in Maryland called Bangalore, but also it could be India. You know what, this looks like a spam website. I'm not going to click on it. Okay. I should have known better. All right, so now what we do is we figure out which ones keep showing up So Stanley Security, we can just give a 5 because they are at the top of Google every single time. It's very clear that they are. I'm going to go through all of this. I'm going to delete these. If you're interested in what the analysis for a Wellismo looked like, check out the other videos on this channel. I did a stream with them as well. Okay, so connected sensors. I'm going to, well, these are all going to be, actually no, that's not true. I'll make them green. For these guys, they're not to be found anywhere. Beyond page 5 is what that means. So those are all red. I'm going to scroll back up. I'm going to grab these 5 keywords. Spoiler alert, there's a lot we're going to go through. Okay, so now we have to figure out who are the top competitors. So I do the top 3 competitors. I guess for that last one I did 4. So Stanley Security is very clearly at the top. That's very clear. So P1S1, that means page 1, spot 1. On a, oh, okay, so commercial leak detection, they were page 1, spot 2, my bad. Spot 2. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of these. Okay, so water alert, 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse me. So water alert is clearly one of them as well. So we'll do that's spot 3. Oops. Okay. Oops. And then the last one we're going to do, water damage defense is quite good as well. Yeah, we'll do water damage defense. Spot 7. Again. Spot 5. Spot 4. Spot 3. Okay, so I'm going to mark these ones as red as well. I tend to go anything below spot 5, I mark as red. Okay, so now we know what the top keywords are, and we know what the client is. We know what the top keywords are. We know what the top client's top competitors are. All that's left is to analyze each of these sites. I'm going to be coming back later to take care of that because this is a lot to do all at once. So thank you so much for joining me. And